isn't a nuclear wasteland. It's just Ohio.
This is the most anticipated game of the whole year, and we were all ready. We all took off days off work at school to enjoy our time. We all told our significant others that they wouldn't hear from us for long periods of time. We were so ready, in fact, that we even stopped watching porn to dedicate more time to a game that will soak up hundreds of hours of our life. Now, I would ask you guys to guess what game I'm talking about, but besides the fact that we all know someone do the exact same things I just told you, something's telling me you read the title of the video, and that's kind of the reason why you clicked it. I'm here to review the gigantic scope of the insanely hyped Fallout 4, a game that around 6 months ago, we didn't even think we were going to get this soon. So after around 65 hours of the game so far, I can safely inform you that Fallout 4 is exactly what we wanted, more Fallout. The game starts off the day the bombs go off. You live your life with your family for maybe 5 minutes and BAM! Nuke blow up! After 200 years of being cryogenically frozen, you wake up and your son has been kidnapped. It is then up to you to traverse the Commonwealth, also known as the post-apocalyptic radiation-filled Boston, in order to search for your son. While I did want to enact revenge on the assholes that took my son, the setup wasn't as strong as Fallout 3's intro. And while I was looking forward to exploring the world before the Big Bang, we only got to see one little part of it for literally 5 minutes, and this bugged me a lot. The rest of the story turns out being a lot stronger than Fallout 3's core story, with a bunch of conspiracies and secret groups everywhere. But Fallout's true joy is in discovering all the little stories scattered all around the world, and boy are there a lot of them. The good thing is, you get to explore this world as whatever kind of character you want to be. Because of your character now being fully voiced, and with a change in the dialogue system, I was afraid that Fallout 4 wouldn't let you be who you want to be, and luckily, that's not the case. After you create your character's face, you then decide what kind of person he or she is. My name is George. I'm a charismatic smooth talker that gets through most situations only through my words. But I'm mischievous, and I put on a happy face, and I'll steal things and sneak in anywhere I need to be, as long as I personally gain something from it. Whether that's new equipment, weapons, or information on my son's whereabouts. But that's just me. You can literally play whoever you want to be. My friend Austin plays a complete idiot that only talks in short grunts and punches everything because of his incredible strength. The possibilities are endless, and while I love playing role-playing games that let me form a specific character the way I see fit, it's always nice playing a role-playing game that lets you be exactly who you want to be. While the world of Fallout has always been full of history, environmental storytelling, and many little secrets, it's never been a visually pleasing place. Fallout 4, however, is all of that. The destroyed Boston is hauntingly beautiful, full of pretty blues and oranges which stand out much more compared to its predecessors just being full of green and gray. The lighting in the game is fantastic, the colors are vibrant, and the wasteland is just full of interesting things to look at. Old buildings, rocket-shaped cars, shacks, forests, even the creatures that roam the streets are incredibly captivating. The textures and the way everything moves may still remind you of older Fallout games, but the pretty aesthetics make this game look like much more than just a coat of paint. Character models, however, don't impress. In fact, it's not that the characters' faces look bad, it's just that they literally look like faces with a circle at the bottom opening and closing, and this can become very distracting. Luckily, the voice acting makes up for this. You can't even compare the voice acting to prior entries of the series, because all around, it's really good. All of the characters, including your own, convey real emotion, something not so prevalent in past games. Unlike past games, the way in which you actually talk to people has changed. The dialogue system now resembles something similar to Telltale's dialogue system. I do find it a little simplistic and limiting, and there were many moments where my options just didn't make sense. For example, the game assumed I had knowledge of something I didn't learn yet, or vice versa. Even with these shortcomings, the dialogue system does its job, and it makes the whole experience much more streamlined. And then there's the game's score, which is actually on par with Skyrim's score, and that's saying something. Whenever the main theme comes on, chills went down my spine every single time. Most of the music is lush, but very foreboding and never pleasant. There's a large emphasis on piano than before, but the constant trashy percussion and very foreboding bass tones immediately immerses you in the game, and it truly makes you feel like you're exploring a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The old 40s and 50s licensed songs of the game also set the tone in a very creepy and charming kind of way. Like every other major Bethesda RPG, the main purpose and objective of Fallout 4 hasn't changed. Explore the world at your heart's content. The second you exit the vault, you can literally go in whatever direction you please, but it isn't easy to survive. You have to collect food, weapons, ammo, medicine, and you'll have to watch out for radiation poisoning. Radiation poisoning is much more common in Fallout 4 than it has ever been. The more you're infected, the smaller your full health bar is, so you really have to monitor your status and treat yourself accordingly. Another thing that has become much more important is hoarding. Almost everyone treated other Fallout and Elder Scrolls games basically as a hoarding simulator. Every item that is even of slight importance, we have to keep it just in case. Now with Fallout 4, even pointless items like cups, lamps, and burned books now serve a purpose, as they can all be broken apart so you can use their smaller parts to build different things. The modding of guns and armor is now more advanced than it has been in past games, but the big thing that the game wants you to focus on is the building of settlements. There are certain locations in the game in which you can build everything from buildings, bed frames, farms, turrets, lights, and anything else, and the game gives you control over every little detail. People can then come and stay at your place, which means you can have your very own community. Thing is, besides just messing around with it, there's really no incentive to build settlements. Not only that, but the game introduces this concept far too early. The moment in which the game tells you about this, you have no resources to build anything at all. There is some fun to be had with building settlements, but I would advise not focusing on it until much later in the game, unless you really love to build stuff. As you're roaming the hauntingly beautiful wasteland, you're going to be shooting at all sorts of things. And compared to prior Fallout games, the combat system isn't terrible. And shooting things actually feels pretty solid this time around. I know it's expected that every first-person shooter feels good to play, but older Fallout games were sluggish, complicated, and inaccurate. If I had to compare Fallout 4's feel to any other game, it's pretty similar to BioShock Infinite when it comes to how weapons feel and how constantly you'll be scavenging every single thing you see. And even with a newly improved combat system, you still have the option to use the VAT system, which is an advanced targeting system that slows down time and allows you to focus your firepower on specific body parts while also showing you the chance of you actually hitting them. And then in a very dramatic way, the game slows down and shows you the gory resolution of what happened to the enemy. It's disgusting and I love it! Alongside the many raiders and cannibals you can find in the wasteland, you will also find just as many creatures affected by radiation. From your standard rad roaches and zombie-like ghouls to giant and overpowered death claws, which are still some of the most intimidating enemies to be found in a video game. These creatures do give you a sense of fear when you randomly roam the wasteland, as their will to just attack you head-on requires you to switch to a more aggressive playstyle. But this is a Bethesda game, and for the worse, some things just haven't changed. One of the most notable problems is definitely the AI. While enemy AI in the middle of a battle has slightly improved, stealth still sucks. It's either you can make a crazy amount of noise and nobody knows where you are, you stay still and hide in the shadows and everyone knows where you are, or you blow up the person's face and his best friend just looks at him and moves on with his life. Enemy AI is inconsistent, but it is not nearly as bad as your companion's AI, which is terrible. Oh. There is a large amount of companions you have at your side, like Codsworth the robot or Dogmeat the dog. But they are so stupid! They'll block important entrances you need to access, get stuck behind objects, and even start shit with people you don't want to fight. At certain parts of the game, I just wanted to roam the wasteland by myself because my companions are brainless. Another thing that hasn't changed are the glitches, and at this point we just expect them. I fell through elevators, got stuck between objects, having enemies run into each other, and there are many times when people I was speaking to just stopped talking. Some of these are cute in some ways, but there are many game-breaking glitches that really ruin the experience. But because of how huge and dense the world is, glitches and technical bugs are just expected in some shape or form. If you just want to plow through the main story and focus on nothing else, Fallout 4 could take you around 40 hours. But there's easily over 400 hours worth of content to be found in this game without ever seeing the same thing twice. Replay value consists of playing the game again as a completely different character making different choices that change the course of the entire game. Other things to do is to explore every single little inch of this gigantic world, leveling up your character, adding extra perks and skills through a very unique and cute little skill tree, and you can build crazy insane settlements if you have the time. And around early 2016, you'll actually be able to download PC mods for Fallout 4 and actually use them on your PS4 or Xbox One, which is something we've never really seen in video games up to this point. Fallout 4 is exactly what we wanted it to be. A game that lets us be whoever we want to be, doing whatever we want to do, however we want to do it. The destroyed land of Boston is beautiful and full of interesting things to do, the combat has greatly been improved, and the joy of just wandering around the world will never get old. While the game does have a couple of unwanted changes, as well as it not being nearly as polished as we wish it was, Fallout 4 is an incredible feat of open world game design that is full of content that will last us more than one can ask for. War. War never changes, and neither does Fallout, but we never want Fallout to change. Fallout 4 receives a 9.25 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching, and stay fresh, guys.